On this episode, we rank the top 10 height-restricted rides at Universal Orlando Resort. Today is December 6th, 2022, and this is episode 519 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, go ahead and head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. Then if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you're going to get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And then if you're getting ready to plan that next Disney or Universal vacation, you're looking to go on a cruise or pretty much travel anywhere else in the world, head to mainstmagictravel.com and fill out a form for a free quote. Our travel services are completely free to you. And then finally, we have our room blocks at the Wyndham Lake Buena Vista Tower for more than 40% off the normal rate. Half price resort fee as well. This is for our Main Street 16 Challenge, February 2nd to 5th, 2023, all to benefit Give Kids the World. Find out about the rooms, find out about the challenge, find out about the awesome trivia event and live podcast recording on Friday at mainstreet16.com.
So today we are talking about the top 10 height restricted rides at Universal. We did an episode, 510 episode on Disney's top 10 height restrictions. Now, Universal has every ride a height restriction.
Yeah.
Which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, but if you really go and think about it, what is a ride there? Well, let's see. So to me, what I found a little bit surprising is, for example, Flight of Hippogriff, of course, has a 36-inch height. Cat in the Hat has a 36-inch height requirement, which is kind of interesting. The Seuss trolley train has a 36-inch.
Wait, just to say, what about the carousel?
That one is actually not listed. So they're just listing. So that one you could do. I think Redfish, Bluefish there you could do. I mean, there's a couple things in Seuss Landing. Of course, they're getting ready to shut down all that area over on the studio side with Fievel's Playground and Woody Woodpecker and all those. So really, you're looking at there not being a lot to do for kids.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, because majority of all rides are listed as height restricted, we didn't just want to do a top 10 rides. So we cut it off at 42 inches.
We did.
Right? Which an average 42-inch kid is usually about 6 years old, around that age.
Mm-hmm.
And what we did last episode with the Disney version is we really tried to say, all right, not only do we want to rank these as what we think are the best or our favorites for older, taller people, I guess. But also some of these we'll usually talk about, is this a good introductory ride to a child who's maybe 6 years old at the 42 inches, right?
Yeah.
So we really want to kind of do that part as well. Well, let's get right into it and we'll discuss these as we break them down. And we do have them listed from 10 to 1. What is our number 10, Rhonda?
Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, and you must be 51 inches. Or taller.
Good introductory ride?
No.
For a 6-year-old who's never done a roller coaster?
Absolutely not.
And I think that's why it falls so low on our list, right?
I mean, this is still like, yeah, absolutely. But this is still like even scary to us.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that we'll ever ride it again. Now, to be honest, just because getting older, it's a little rough.
It is. I think the sheer fact of like literally when it goes up the track, I mean, like you are literally straight up, but because of the way I feel like it tilts, I feel like you are tilted where you're going to fall out the back.
Yeah, you could slide right out the back of that seat, it feels like.
It really does.
And,
It's scary.
This ride, I mean, really, with Rip Ride Rocket, the biggest part is that first climb. The rest of it is not a bad coaster. I mean, it can be a little rough, but outside of that, I think if this had your standard roller coaster, crank chain incline and then went into the rest of the ride, it's a good introductory ride. I think it's that initial rise where you are literally at that angle
100%.
Straight back that truly makes this scary as all get out. And then once you get through that, it's not that bad. Really.
It's kind of fun. Like it kind of gives you that feeling of your stomach kind of going up and down, almost like a little bit of a Tower of Terror
Yeah.
feel to me. The way, like, the ride kind of comes to kind of mini halts at some point.
Yeah. To me, that's its biggest fault. Those are the rough areas. It's almost like we'll discuss another ride. We'll get to those stopping points where they're almost too jerky.
Yeah.
It's not a very smooth additional launch area. The way that a Velocicoaster is, for example.
Yeah.
Which might show up on our list. Spoiler alert. But I don't know. I could see there being a point where we go back and I go, and maybe it's for this Christmas trip, when I go, you know what? This, I think, will be my final Rip Ride Rocket. But I think that's what I would like, is to almost say, like, you know what? This is my last hurrah. This is the last time I'm riding it.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see
and
if
I
the
almost
girls want to ride it.
Yeah, well, I almost feel the same about our number 9 pick, which is...
Oh, I have no desire to ride this anymore. But number 9 is the Incredible Hulk Coaster. You must be at least 54 inches or taller.
Yeah, not a good introductory coaster, obviously. No.
There's like, I think I counted the last time I rode it.
The number of inversions?
I think you go upside down like
3, 4,
8. No, like
8?
5 or
my goodness
7 times. I'm trying to. I swear it was a lot. Like,
yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, 1, 2, 3. Like, it was over 5 for sure.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I'd kind of wrote this ride off based on it being, again, a little bit jerky, getting older. It would always kind of slam my head around, give me a headache.
That's what it does.
I just rode last month with Rob, when we went down with Rob and Tina, and I really, really enjoyed it. I have no longer written this one off. I would jump on this one much quicker than I would jump on Rip Ride Rocket.
Okay.
Again, based on being a 43-year-old man who's getting older and the way that it makes your body feel.
Yeah.
I actually felt like I wouldn't have been surprised if somebody was like, oh, you didn't know they came in overnight and they made a couple improvements to the track and the coaster where it's a little bit smoother. Like, it did not feel that bad. And I think this is a super fun ride. Where would you put this compared to if you said, all right, first ever inversion for a kid, right? You have now, again, you're getting 54 inches. You're probably talking more 8-year-old maybe. Your 8-year-old says, you know what? I'm ready for a roller coaster that goes upside down. Would you put them on this or Rock and Roller Coaster
Rock and
first?
Roller Coaster.
Even being in the dark?
100%.
Okay. Can you imagine if Hulk was in the dark?
I don't know. I think that makes me sick.
It would I would make it, I
about
think, almost unrideable. I think, because it and this is an outstanding coaster.
Yeah.
Up until recently, in my opinion, this was the best roller coaster as far as thrill goes.
Okay.
This was the best thrill coaster at either of Disney or Universal theme parks.
So it didn't shake your head around?
I don't feel like it did.
Okay.
Now I've gotten to the point where I think I'm smart enough to go, all right, let's put your head back.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing, is that you almost have to force your head back where it strains your neck because you're holding it tight. But I don't know. There was something about it. Now, the lady in the coaster in front of us, I think, had different feelings. Remember that? What we told you about when Rob and I saw the lady in front of us?
Yeah.
So Hulk, if you've not ridden it or seen it, it sits 4 across,
right,
first of all, which is pretty crazy. One thing I love about this is that it has that additional seatbelt restraint.
Yes.
That connects to the over the shoulder, which just makes me feel much, much more secure, because it's not necessary, but it's like a safety precaution put in place. So anyway.
Yeah. I mean, if the thing messed
I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to think about it. That is still like my worst nightmare. And still, every time I play a scenario through my brain before getting on a roller coaster that goes upside down, a what if? What do I do? But that's maybe a whole other episode. So it sits 4 across. So facing forward, you enter on left side, you exit on right side. This lady was on the far left seat. And first of all, she could not get the seatbelt unfastened fast enough. She could not get the restraint up fast enough. She then shoved the other 3 guests, who were probably part of her family, out of her way as she almost sat them back down with her arm as she got off this ride as quick as she could. She keeled over, but then stood up and went around the corner by the door, and I don't know what happened on the other side of that door. I can only imagine there was throw up involved by the look on her face. I felt so bad for her. But this is intense.
It is.
This is intense in a whole other level compared to a Velocicoaster, based on the fact that it really does move you around. It's not smooth anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Number 8, let's move on. And I think this was as we were sitting down and ranking these before the show, you thought that this should go a little bit higher. And I think that has to do the same thing with an introductory type of thing, right?
Yeah.
And what is this?
We are talking about Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. And this, you must be at least 48 inches or taller. I don't love this one, I think, because the screens and the stuff don't bother me. I think it's because like how kind of closed you are.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it does turn you literally upside down. Like Rob was like, no, it doesn't. I'm like, yes, it does.
There's that part where you are. I think you're leaning back at a back angle. Like
I think you're literally like
your head's lower
down.
than your butt. We'll
You're
say
upside
that.
down.
You're not upside down, but your head is lower
Okay.
to the ground than your butt.
I would like to say
You want to say that this thing puts you in a complete
yes,
180 upside down.
I think so.
Okay. I will let you live with that, but it does not.
What do y'all think? I think y'all should let me know.
Well, it's not about thinking. It's a factual thing that it doesn't it doesn't make you fully upside down.
Are you sure?
I'm 1,000% sure.
Nuh-uh.
I will bet you any amount of money that I don't have right this second. How much fake money do you want to bet on this?
Well, does it?
I'll go as high as 10 million fake dollars. That it does not go
10
upside
million.
down.
Okay, so how are you gonna?
What is your
find that
version of
out?
upside down?
When you're this
Complete
thing,
180. So you're saying that
yeah, it's
normally, all right, normally this is my head up here. This is my feet down here.
Yeah.
You think it does this. And I know nobody can see this, but.
when you're laying back and then it literally like turns you. Yes, your head is here and your feet are up in the air. That's upside down.
All right. Agree to disagree
Okay.
on the definition. But
Okay.
But what do you think
We have
overall?
literally almost been stuck like that before, and
Correct. Lying on your back with your head slightly lower than your
no,
buttocks.
like literally almost upside down.
Okay. What do you think of this ride? And what do you think of it as an introductory style ride for a young child?
This one's better, because I guess you do feel more safe, and you
Yeah.
are completely like almost closed in. It is funny though. You're supposed to be riding a broom, which that.
I know.
You're not-
I mean,
you're not-
imagine if they could put this into a Pandora Flight of Passage
Yes.
style vehicle.
Correct.
That would
That
be
would be
pretty
amazing.
cool.
But anyways, it's a fun, cute ride.
Yeah.
I
I think its biggest issue comes to motion. If you're prone to motion sickness, I do think.
yes.
Is this one? You've ridden this without using your motion sickness patch?
No, I'm pretty sure that I haven't ridden anything at.
Do you believe that it
Universal
would make you motion
Probably.
sick? Okay. I think
Probably.
that's probably the biggest issue. So that's one of those where, again, and we talked about this a lot in the Disney version of this episode, was your kids.
Yes.
You know if they're
Yep.
prone to motion sickness. You know if they can do screens. You know if they can do whatever it may be.
Correct.
Do you think that this not being 3D in the screen portion helps or hurts your motion sickness? You know what I mean? Like, do you think it's
Yeah,
better
I think
because it's not 3D?
Yeah.
Or does that make it worse, possibly?
Possibly a little worse. Like sometimes it's clearer when you have like 3D.
That's what I
glasses.
think. I think this is missing
is
the clarity,
weird,
and I'd really
but-
like to see an upgrade to
Yeah.
these motion.
But there's not a ton of
Screen.
screens, which is cool. Like I like.
Yeah, but for the last
The
time ever,
real
when I rode it
stuff.
with Logan last time before you showed up, it was the first time that I got a slight moment of, ooh, that made me a little bit queasy at that part.
Really?
Yeah, and again,
Huh.
that may just be an age thing as I get older. You're getting older
kidding.
too, sweetheart.
I've
We'll
had
see. I don't
motion
know.
Things though.
I know. I don't know if in a couple of years I'm going to need motion sickness patches or whatever. We'll see.
We'll see.
Let's move on to our number 7. This is honestly
I like
one of
this
my
one.
favorite
Yeah,
rides,
this is
and
fun.
it's as simple as they get.
Yes, and we are talking about Dr. Doom's Fear Fall, and you must be 52 inches or taller, which I think is a little surprising, just because I think this is a fantastic drop introductory ride.
Yeah.
Because it's better than Tower of Terror, because this is a real free fall.
Mhm.
It's not like where Tower of Terror pulls it back down.
Right.
And it's neat, and you're high above, and it doesn't go up and down, up and
Yeah,
down.
it's quick. You
just-
really have an initial launch, and then you have a slow descend, or one drop and then a slow descend.
Yep.
I mean, for really, it's going to come down to height restriction based on seat and restraint size. Because even though, yes, I
Oh.
believe that you probably could put a smaller child on this thing and it not being too bad,
Mhm.
you can't allow that child movement
That's
you know what I mean, between the
that
seat and the
makes
shoulder
sense. Yep.
harness, I believe.
Yep.
So they had to put it at a height. I will say this is one of those, because of the over the shoulder harness and all, it just about fits me at being 6'3".
Mhm.
I could see if you start to get in those taller ranges, I'd have to ask Logan, like, how does he fit on this ride? Because I think
Yeah.
he's 6'6". But it is, I think if you're looking at doing a good thrill and you want to introduce your 52 inch tall child, which is probably getting them around maybe the 7-year-old range up into 8
Mhm.
years old, depending on their growth and all. I think this could be a good one. When looking at Tower of Terror, this is kind of like the Hulk in Rock and Roller Coaster comparison. Do you think being able to see everything makes this more or less scary? Like being able to look over all the theme park in Orlando and
I think
stuff
it's
based on when
cool.
you're
I'm not afraid of heights.
Yeah. See, I am.
I think it depends. So then you need to answer your own question.
Yeah, I think this comes off much scarier than Tower of Terror.
Huh.
For me.
Okay.
Because of the fact that you can see everything and
Okay.
you can truly see the height you're at. I know that Tower of Terror opens those elevator doors, but to me, this is going to sound probably stupid, but that feels more like a show scene than looking at real life.
Okay.
Whereas with Fearfall,
I get it.
now based on which direction you're changing, and I feel like we always get the direction facing the outside of the park, not the inside of the park, you're seeing parking lots and buildings,
Mhm.
and you're seeing highways, and you're seeing hotel. Like, to me, it feels more real. Whereas Tower of Terror almost feels like a show scene when those doors open, and then it's so quick, and you're not seeing it the rest of the time. You're seeing dark.
Right. Okay.
So that's where I think, to me personally, someone who is not a fan of heights, this truly scares you a bit. Same thing with a Hulk compared to Rock and Roller Coaster.
Okay.
You put Hulk indoors, I actually think it maybe becomes less scary, as assuming you've ridden it before and you know when the turns and the inversions are coming,
Right.
like I do with Rock and Roller Coaster now. But the fact that you can see everything on Hulk, I think adds so much more of a scare factor to it.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to 6 and 5. Basically, we'll start with 6, but 5 is going to be very similar. But I think this is the perfect introductory drop scenario. And what are we talking about?
Dudley Do Right's Ripsaw Falls, and you have to be 44 inches or taller to ride this one.
And let's go right into number 5 with Jurassic Park River Adventure, which is 42 inches.
Correct.
Which I find surprising that these either aren't swapped or that they're not the same.
Well,
Because they're very similar. I guess it's the ride vehicle that it really comes down to.
Maybe just like you said in the last one, it's the ride
Yeah.
vehicle.
So talk about the ride vehicle for Ripsaw Falls for anyone that has not ridden or seen it.
Well, this is the one kind of like Splash Mountain, right, where you're like in.
No, it's more like a it's like if
The Space
it's like if it's like Space Mountain's
Yes.
ride vehicle, but in
That's
boat
right.
form, right?
Yes.
So individuals sit in front of each other.
Yes.
But it also, the ride vehicle looks a little bit like the guy down the street that has all that land and a bunch of barns, and you know what he does in them, and it turns out that he builds ride vehicles, and it looks like he made this and crafted it in one of these sheds. Because it does not look very secure and
Really?
safe. I don't think. I mean, it's to the point where it's open air in a sense where your legs are like next to the person in front of you.
Yeah, it's
You're
like
basically straddling the person in front of you.
right. This reminds me of where it should be at a water park ride.
Yeah, I agree. Or
You do
a
get-
carnival or a fair that pops up overnight in a parking
do
lot at
get-
JCPenney's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you got to look at this ride vehicle next time.
Okay.
I think it does not look very
It's super
secure.
fun though.
Oh, I love this
and
ride. Absolutely love it.
You get very, very wet.
You do.
Which
You do.
was funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think the drop on this is much, in my opinion, is much less intense than Jurassic River Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
You get kind of a double drop because you go over that bit of a hill afterwards, but it's very similar in theory to Jurassic River Adventure, where it is a relaxing boat ride up until the very end.
Mhm.
Right? I mean, same thing with River Adventure.
Yeah, I like River Adventure.
Which do you think would be the better introduction?
I'd say
for...
River Adventure, I think.
Okay.
I mean, especially because in the River Adventure, the ride vehicle is where you can put your arm around the person next to you, kind of like Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
And
you're sitting multiple people across.
And you can almost kind of bury your head in your parent, grandparent's lap almost, if you are a little nervous, and it's only one big giant drop.
Well, and I think, it's the one big drop at the ending. But I think you also look at Jurassic is going to be familiar, right? You have a 6-7-year-old. Whether they've seen the Jurassic movies or not,
true.
they're going to know dinosaurs, and they're going to be like, oh, cool, dinosaurs. Whereas Ripsawed Falls, I mean, even at our age, I mean, I know who Dudley Do-Right is or was, but I'm not like, oh man, I was a huge Dudley Do-Right fan growing up. I mean, I read those comics all the time.
Right.
No. So I think the familiarness of dinosaurs and Jurassic is what makes that much better of an introductory ride. For getting that big drop for the first time, I mean, it took 3-4 times. I think Lacey backed out of this before she finally got on
the River Adventure.
Yeah. And we're talking this being within the last 2 years, her being a 10-year-old.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because she kept asking how big the drop is, and we were like, it's just like Splash Mountain, but apparently it's not.
It's a bit more.
It's a bit more.
Yeah, it's a bit taller, but I don't feel like the decline angle is as strong as Splash Mountain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, but it was just funny because the one guy, when she asked him the one time, literally told her the truth, and I was like,
and she was like, "Nah, I'm out of here."
Yep.
We're like, really? It's not that bad. I'm like, I'm not going to look up the height of it. It's just like Splash Mountain.
Yep.
And then she asked, and the team member literally told her, and she's like, "Peace. I'm out of this one."
I know.
And she left.
Frustrating.
But we finally got her on it.
Yeah, we did.
And she loves it. I mean, it's one of those ones she requests every single time now. Another one that took quite a bit to get her on, and she finally only rode this within the last year for the first time, I want to say.
So, and she likes it now.
And that comes in at our number 4.
Yep.
The newly, air quote, refurbed.
Lord of mercy. The Revenge of the Mummy. And you do have to be at least 48 inches or taller. And this one is fun. It's cute.
Cute?
Well, I guess maybe not cute. It's
all the mummies statues pop up.
Yeah.
That's the only difference I've noticed.
And it's dark and it's a little scary. And I guess never mind. It's not cute at all.
I was gonna say, but how do you feel about introductory for a 7-8-year-old? It's their first ever coaster.
It's a very short coaster,
which helps a lot.
Which does help. So I think this would be fine.
It has start and stop points, which I believe can help.
And it's a little jerky.
It was so funny when it was another one that Logan and I rode. He was so excited to ride. It was the one thing he wanted to do on our quick morning that we had after IAPA before you showed up. And he was like, I heard it's so much smoother. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, it's not. And I was like, well, just ride it. And then we got off of it and he was like, you're right. He's like, that was not smooth at all. It's the exact same. I really don't know what they did. I understand that they got everything working, I guess, as it should be.
Right, which is nice.
But
and I think they upgraded.
I didn't notice a change.
I think they upgraded some of the
lighting and stuff, some of the effects.
The effects and the what do you call that? The screens that there are.
That smoke I think they intensified that smoke because it got me good right in the face, that one portion.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
No, I absolutely love this ride. I do think if you're talking introductory coasters and we're not talking about like the Woody Woodpecker one or the Barnstormer styles, we're talking about true kind of coasters. I think this is a pretty good one. This is, really, if you go back to Disney, your introductory coasters are really a 7 Doors Mine Train.
Mm-hmm.
They're even I'd say Slinky Dog Dash, right? This is going that next level, but I think as far as Universal Orlando goes, this is probably the best introductory coaster outside of the Woody Woodpecker one. Yeah. Right? Do you agree?
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, you have so many other ones that are like...
I mean, we already talked Rip Ride Rocket.
Right.
We already talked Hulk.
Right.
We've got 2 more on the list that we're going to talk about.
Right.
And as much as it sounds like maybe we're knocking this ride, I absolutely love it. I'm fine that there weren't any changes to it or updates or whatever. I don't care. It's just weird it was closed down for so long.
Yeah.
For minimal, consumer-based notices. But I absolutely love it, and it is a must-do every single time. I wish it was longer because it is super fun.
It is. It's
super
fun.
duper fun.
I do wish it was longer.
Only get him his cup of coffee. What comes in at number 3, which I believe might be your favorite ride in all of Universal Orlando
I think
Resort.
it might be too. And it is Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. You do have to be 42 inches or taller to ride this.
I'll take back what I just said because honestly, this is probably the best introductory coaster because of all the stops
Mhm.
and because of the 3D and because of the show scenes where you get a break. You know, I think the scariest part is maybe the beginning if you're unaware about what's going to happen and you've never ridden a coaster, because you're like, wait, the track is not supposed to do this. Where am I going? As it, tilts you
That
down,
is
which
so
I think
cool.
is so awesome.
It's so cool.
It's one of my favorite launches, I guess you would
Yeah.
you'd still call it a launch.
I guess so.
Why do you love this so much?
I don't know. I think because, like you said, like you just go like, I think because like the ride vehicle moves and turns like kind of like
Cosmic.
Thank you.
Yeah, but there's nothing
And-
else like this ride.
Yeah, and I don't mind the stops. Like sometimes when I've ridden it, I've kind of almost wish it could not stop and you could actually just still kind of ride
Keep going.
still more. But I don't know. I love the whole thing. I think it's fun.
Do you wish that Cosmic Rewind was this, where it stopped and showed show scenes 3D? Like what if you could take Cosmic Rewind and put it in Gringotts? This is a theme park shuffle episode almost. Like, is that something that you think you would enjoy, or do you love how fast paced and continual Cosmic Rewind is? Do you think it would be
Both.
improved by having a
Both.
story throughout this way?
Both,
I know it does, but-
because I think like Rachel's mom wrote it for the first time ever the other day, and she was texting us, and her mom didn't even notice the song because of all the craziness, basically. And I mean, that's where I feel like every single time I get on it, that's the sad part in my brain, because I can't start to try to enjoy the entire ride as a whole, because my brain is so focused on, all right, what song is this? And then go,
That's a good
okay.
point. Yeah, that's a good point.
And so, and then the same, like this new song, we have to listen for and try to listen. And I don't know. I think if it was where it would slow down and like stop, and then so your senses, you could kind of focus and
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it'd be incredible. I mean, I absolutely love Cosmic Rewind. It's my favorite attraction currently that I've been on in the Orlando area. But it would be neat to see, especially because it's the Guardians, and that they can interject all that humor and everything.
And
I
they
think would be super
do.
cool. Oh, totally.
While
They do
you're
throughout the ride, yeah.
riding.
Well, think about this. All right, so if we get a virtual queue for next Saturday when we're there, can you shut your brain off and worrying about the song because you already know what the song is, or are you gonna? Or we've only heard it once and you want to hear the
I want
holiday?
to try to listen again.
Okay, then we go back for Christmas. We ride with the girls. Can you shut your brain off knowing what the song is and just enjoy the
Hopefully.
ride for what it is?
Hopefully, yes.
Okay. All right.
Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Our number 2 and our number 1, I think you could literally flip flop.
Mm-hmm.
100%. What are we coming in at number 2? Which, well, go ahead and you can go. Yeah.
especially
go ahead and say
number
it.
2.
Yeah.
Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, and you do have to be 48 inches or taller. And I think this one, because you actually technically have 2 ride vehicles.
Yeah.
You have one, but 2 different experience.
Yeah. Based on
ride
the motorbike or the
vehicles.
sidecar.
Yes.
Agreed.
Because if you get on that motorcycle, it
It's
is
the
a
way to ride
scare.
it.
It is.
Yeah.
But for a brand new person that's never ridden something like this, or a child, it is scarier being on the motorbike. You feel safer. You feel like you're down and tucked in the sidecar. I absolutely loved this ride. I wish we could ride it more. I think the fact that they've not yet done a express pass.
Yep. And dump the virtual queue.
Right. That's where it's hard.
Well, we were riding it twice a day when they had the virtual queue.
Right. If they went to something, I think honestly this would outbeat my Escape from Gringotts ride.
Yeah, it'd be your number 1.
It would be my number 1.
Yeah.
Because I could always ride it, and and that's why I think Gringotts is one of my favorites, because express pass after 4, we can always ride it, and it's just a good fun ride. And then Hagrid's is always still a long wait and you can't ride it, so we just kind of skip it, but it is super fun. It's in the dark, it's out in the open.
You got multiple surprises. Like,
yep.
I honestly think this is the best attraction in Orlando. I'm not saying it's my favorite. It's up there. I think it's absolutely incredible, but I think it is the best as far as what you get out of it. And what I loved, and I suggest if you know the secrets to Hagrid's.
Uh-huh.
And you have a first timer, don't tell them.
Yeah.
What I love now, you knew you had some spoilers ahead of time.
I did.
I did not. But what I loved is the first time going on it was also the first time Lacey was going on it. And she could look at me and I could look at her and with all honesty say, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I didn't know. And I'm glad that it didn't spoil for her or for me because, and we don't want to spoil it now because I know plenty of people haven't wrote it. There is a moment in this that I think you could write it every day of your life. And every single day you would go, how did they do this? Because it still blows my absolute mind. It is so super impressive. And this ride is so fun. And yes, if you are there with a first timer or if it's your first time, highly suggest you do whatever you can to not only be in the front row, but be on the motorbike. It is a vastly different experience at one point if you're in the front row or the last row.
Yeah,
100%.
Like
100%. So highly recommend that. That only leaves one obvious number one contender left.
What could it be?
Best roller coaster I've ever been on. One of the best attractions in Orlando. It will blow your mind, and it is the only other ride other than Tower Terror that I get butterflies in my stomach while I'm waiting in the queue.
That's funny.
And there are times where I've considered last minute, like, I don't know if I can do this today.
Really?
Yeah. What are we talking about?
We are talking about Jurassic World Velocicoaster, and you do have to be 51 inches or taller.
I've not heard of a person get off this ride and basically not say, holy moly, that blew my mind.
Yeah. It's super
Didn't
fun.
it even impress Rob? And he's
Yeah,
not impressed by anything. Yeah. I mean, even Hagrid, he was like, meh.
Yeah.
Like, what? Rise of the Resistance, he was like, meh. And
Yeah.
I think he got off Velocicoaster and was like, okay, that was good. Like, that's good.
Yeah, it was funny. But yeah, it is a neat, fun, fast, lots of inversions too. I have not counted those because those have never, like, I guess, bothered me as much.
I mean, you were upside down
quite a few times.
I mean, no, but that full, now talk about upside down. This is not Forbidden Journey.
Yeah.
You were legit upside down for whatever the length of that part of the track is. And again, I'm not talking upside down like a loop or a corkscrew, which it has plenty of those.
Yeah.
Literally upside down as the cart travels for 30, 40 feet, whatever it may be.
Yep.
It feels like a lifetime. And this ride still scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah. Does
I
it?
love it. I love it. It
but
really
you don't
does.
want to sit in the back row?
I do not want to sit in the back row ever again. That was honestly, it was too much for me.
That is hysterical.
Tina loves it. She
I
will
was
wait for the
fine.
back row. It's so funny because we go up there every time now, and Tina looks at the team member and she's like, "Can I wait for the back row?" And he's just like, or he or her is always like, "Wait, what?" Like nobody's ever asked that. Everybody wants the front row.
Yeah.
The back row is a whole other level.
Yeah. It is.
It's what I actually imagine if you held onto a real life Velociraptor's tail and it just ran around with you on it as you're grabbing for
You're
your dear
funny.
life is what it feels like.
I didn't
Is this a
mind
good
it.
introductory roller coaster for a young child?
Not at all.
Not even close.
Not even
This isn't a good
close.
introductory roller coaster for anyone. I don't care if you're a 35-year-old and you've never done a roller coaster. You're like, I think I'd like to start riding roller coasters. Don't go get on this one first.
No.
It might scar you for life. In a good way, though. That's what's so crazy.
Yeah. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. Probably.
I just know too, like if you go into this blind, as in, you don't know anything about it, I think too, I'd imagine most people get up and they're looking around like, where's the shoulder restraint? Why is this just going across my lap? Did you see that thing out there?
Oh, yeah.
It goes upside down multiple times. It literally rolls you over a lake. And this is all you're going to secure me with is a lap bar?
Yeah, but you do feel very secure in
Oh,
it.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
I was very nervous about it. But,
Yeah.
like, this is the one, too, that, they always kind of tighten it a little bit more. And sometimes it's like, I can't flip and breathe, man.
Good. I don't want to.
I was just going to say, this is the one
Taco
thing.
agrees.
This is the one thing that I'm like, yep, it's not. It's just make sure you pee before you get on.
Yeah.
Because if they push it down and it's pushing on your bladder, that's okay.
And I will say, honestly, and I'm glad that it really does make you feel so secure. Like, all joking aside, you are 100% secure. You feel secure.
Yep.
But it does add a little bit to the thrill and the excitement, knowing you only have a lap bar. But also what it does is it makes the ride that much more enjoyable, aside from a rock and roller coaster, a Hulk, that has the over-the-shoulder harness for me specifically, because I'm usually, rock and roller coaster especially, I'm jammed up under that thing. And it
Right.
can be super uncomfortable on my shoulders, and you don't get that with the Velocicoaster.
Do you think that they could even change more ride vehicles to just do the lap?
I don't see why not.
Or B, do you think, like they could?
I don't see why you couldn't change out the whole system for something like a Hulk or a Rock and Roller Coaster. I don't understand how it would be any different. You know, you still got multiple inversions. You have similar inversions in some ways. I mean, well, not similar. There's nothing like some of the inversions on Velocicoaster.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't see why you couldn't. I just do believe that there is a level of comfort probably for many guests when you have that over-the-shoulder harness.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So, because, again, I even think even if something bad or something went awry, I feel like you could still bear hug the over-the-shoulder harness one. Whereas if that lap bar came loose for whatever reason, that's it. Like, what are you doing? You're not holding it down. So, I don't know. My physics aren't the best, so it probably still wouldn't work. And I don't even want to think about it. But, yeah, so that is going to be our top 10 42-inch and over height-restricted rides at Universal Orlando Resort. We'll do some more testing of these here at the end of the month along with Disney. We'll make sure we get in some height-restricted rides because we're all of height.
Yay.
At both of these theme parks, which is wonderful. And maybe in the future we can do this at another theme park. We'll see. Maybe 2023 we can do a SeaWorld one. Kaylin probably could.
Yeah.
She went not that long ago. All right, everyone. Thank you, as always, so much for listening. We truly appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get these brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And it would be a wonderful Christmas present to Rhonda and I if you would go out and leave us a rating and review.
Because it'll help our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.